Shalom, shalom again, Israel. We like to go into being aware of who you have around you, because a lot of brothers that in the truth will be saying shalom, shalom, and greeting brothers, but they're doing it deceitfully, right? And we have to be this. We have to be honest with ourselves and not come around brothers with a deceitful spirit, right? Meaning, you only are wrong brothers because you know what? You might be on a video or whatever reason you have, right? So what we have to do, right? We have to remove people that are not serious about the truth and gather with the ones that want to serve the Lord, have a zeal for this truth, right? Not just because a man says shalom and he have on some fringes mean that me and that person good, not knowing that the brother have an evil eye towards you and an evil eye towards the truth. He's not sincere, right? And that is what we're looking for. Sincere brothers to go out and do the work. Sincere sisters to come and be around for the other sisters that in the truth as well, right? We can't be as men, we sincere with one another, but we wife with around a sister that she know you're in the truth, but she trying to pull your wife back out into the world, right? Being deceitful, right? This is Galatians 2 and verse 4. Again, Matthew 10 and 36. This is Galatians 2 and verse 4. And that because of false brethren unawares brought in who came in came in privately to spy out our liberty which we have in Hamashiach Yahushai, that they might bring unto us bondage, right? So we have to be aware of who it is you have in our wrong, right? Because some are who we calling friends, only are wrong to spy to see what it is we doing, right? Meaning that they are wrong for the wrong purpose. They're not wrong to say, well, alright, I see this brother trying to serve the Most High to the best of his ability. Let me follow along and do what I could do to make it into the kingdom as well with this brother and to try and wake up the lost sheep, right? Most of we brothers like to be on folly and nonsense, not thinking about this truth as the way that we should bring up the next generation as well, right? All we want to do is to be in this is to be seen on camera. This is not a movie, right? We're not practicing for Hollywood or nothing like that. We're practicing to rehearse the righteous acts, right? So bring this out for me.
Matthew 10 and 39, is it?
36.
We spoke of Matthew 10 and verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
A man what?
A man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Right, so the scripture say a man foe, meaning a man enemy, will be them of your own household. It could be a brother right next to you was saying shalom. Right? This is something that Israel need to cut out. Right? We have to be sincere. This is the curses that was brought upon Israel because we don't want to keep the commandments of the Most High. If we know these things are part of the curses, why continue walking on that same road? Right? As Amos 3 and 3 say, can two walk together unless they agree? Right? What we're supposed to do is separate from them that don't want to walk the righteous path. Right? Now sometimes it might be hard because you and your brother might grow up close. You might be in the truth. You don't want to hear about the truth now. You're not saying stop talking to your brother and be vexed with your brother, But you limit the amount of time that you're spending with that person and use some of that time to learn the precepts, learn about who you is, what is your duty according to the word of God, right? Not stick up under somebody that don't want to hear nothing about this truth. That's not making no sense, right? So we go to the book of Genesis 27 and verse 41. King, we could you have a few minutes at a time, King?
That's 30 years.
Right, so give me Genesis 35, give me 35 and you'll start 37 and start at 5.
It's the book of Genesis 37 and verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more.
Right, so Joseph dream a dream, right? Some of we might have some things, right? And thinking that the person next to you, who you grow up with all the time, will be happy for you, not knowing that that same person will despise you. The unhappy that you achieving whatever you might achieve, right? And they can't reach no way, they have nothing. Continue reading.
Verse 6. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made options to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words.
Right, so we see in here that even your brother that you grew up with, right, would hate you when they see that how you reaching on top, right? So-called reaching on top, right? But what we're supposed to do is strive towards making it together in this truth, right? Not because a man might have an extra pair of shoes more than you would hate him for it, right? Try and see if you could bring that brother to the truth and build him up in the truth, right? So we see in here where brothers hated one another because, why? One brother had more than the other, right? These things does bring confusion in the home, right? But what we not thinking about doing is thinking about, putting your brother sit down and try to trash out whatever you and he might have, right? And bring him to the understanding that the reason why I have what I have is because I serve in the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? And because I doing what I supposed to do, which is keeping the law, statute, and commandments, the Most High blessing me, right? So I could now be a blessing to you and others. Now we know that people will hate you because you have. You could be helping them, they're going and still hate you, right? This is part of the curses that Israel facing today, right? We will see with the other nations, the Indians, Chinese, the so-called white man, right? A white man will have a business here, a next one have one across the road, and if this person don't have something, they'll refer them to the next one. But with we people, they want to send somebody to destroy that next person, to break the person's place, right? To do some form of stupidness, right? Continue reading, King.
Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made options to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth?
Cheers, big man. We could get a flyer, please. What are we doing? For the 2 days according to the Bible. Right? Because most of you call yourselves like, what we will say, what type of people we are? Africans. Africans, right? When you go into the scriptures, you'll see that Africans had weak people in slavery. Right?
Well, it was a tribe, yeah? Tribe
scriptures, right? To realize that
But
even
which
if
scriptures?
your need
The Bible?
yeah.
The Bible governed by white man. That didn't make much sense
But
to
the
me.
Bible, prayer with the white man, one place the white man ever put something in the Bible, they don't use that.
I read all songs for
In order for a lie to sound good, to make it have to be convincing for you to believe a lie. Right? So, we put things against ourselves because Rome crucified Jesus. That would I tell you, right? Rome crucified Jesus. And if you have a book called Romans in the Bible, how that reach inside you? And you're reading from that.
When you're reading Romans are always talking about the so-called white man. You know that, you ever hear about the Dark Ages?
Yeah.
Who was living in the Dark Ages?
I can't really give you the full details about that, but I hear about it.
Right, we can talk again and also, but we people are living in the Dark Ages, right? I why the so-called white man is telling there are no history on that particular time. There are history before that and after that. But whilst we people are ruling, there are no history of that, right? So that thing is that the white man will take out from certain books that they don't want it to know.
Yes, well, it's going on all the time, but as I say, the Bible is governed by the white man. If it wasn't governed by the white man, it would have never been able to be on the market as how it is today. Just like, let me show you something.
Same Bible, big man,
Yeah.
white man, taking off because they realizing people waking up and understanding who it is right now. America now make us a law that we can't be certain verses from the Bible, right? And showing who we is and showing you who them is as a nation, right? So as you see, I know individual, the other one saw something, and like we on our next time, whenever you have time, you come and talk to me, right?
Just recently, right?
Yeah.
Recently. It doesn't matter what things turn into the change, right? Recently, they could have go on YouTube and some of the things, some of the information that they could have get and see just before Google. You can't find that again, and they want that to find that, right? Things is just take off, just erase off our history just so, and the new generation, like for example, people say the vaccine was marketing, right? It was one of the steps to bring about the all of that. But the people when ID card came in, them people themselves might could have said the same thing about the ID card. But then after it phased out over time, you're not hearing that. Nobody not looking at that again because we born in that time.
I want to do one thing in this picture.
So if the Bible was
I can ask you one question.
Uh-huh.
How people come into Finland?
Well, this is my take on the whole thing, right? Just as how I tell you, it's not Muslims, it's not Rasta, but it's black people, right?
Let's
Let's
say
say-
black is the color of crayon box.
Then we say,
Yes,
then we
I
say,
got to know
alright,
what the color of your skin. So how you black?
so why I brown? Isaac Henry, my bloodline is infiltrated by white.
Is that Henry, right?
Yeah.
Where that name come from?
That is from the white
Right,
man.
so
I
how
don't get
come?
infiltrated.
But we was a strong nation of people, right? But we still against God. What God put these other nations, they are Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Right? When we break the commandments of God, make these other people and them that a rule over.
But them other race of people was the children of Canaan. That way the people who got 9 years and children had 2 sets of Christians born
Right.
because the same Bible tell you that sons of God saw that the daughters of men was beautiful and they went unto them.
I just gonna ask it.
Say that, well, yeah, I can't tell you that right now. I don't really study from the Bible. So I don't
Whenever
study.
you have time, you can always come back and talk to people, right? Ready to play?
Yeah, I'm gonna look
call we Negroes, they will call we African,
Yeah.
they will call we a black man, right?
Yeah,
But you hear already people saying that all these black people, right? What do you call that vehicle? What color that vehicle? Right?
yeah.
What do you call that vehicle?
Not exactly.
Anything like that? Right? You're black, right? Black is a color. Right? That is not a race of people. You
Right.
can't take a ticket and say I go into the land of black. Right?
Right.
Indians could go to the land of India. Chinese could go back to China. Where we going back to? Where we could go back to?
We only stay here.
Right? Because we are lost people, right? When we go to the Bible, right? How we ancestors reached Trinidad and just scattered across 4 corners of the through what form of transportation? Right? I just want to show you this here, right? So you'll get Deuteronomy 28 and 64. You'll start at verse Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. Right? Because what I'm trying to show you is that we have to know who we is according to the Bible.
Yeah.
Everybody know who they is.
Yes.
Right? And I like to say thanks for taking the time out to hear what we are to say and all. For a lot of people just say they want to know about God, they love God, but they don't know. If you ask people, they don't know nothing about the God we serve, right? Which is crazy. That's what I think about it. But a man must know who he serves. But the Bible now show you that out there's many gods, but there's one supreme God.
Yep.
Right? But people will say this is our God, that is our God. Just like all the other nations have their gods, right?
Right.
Right? But that is not the God that the Bible talk about, right? But we have to understand that we serve the true and living God,
Yep.
right? Which is the God of the Israelites, right? Throughout the whole Bible, you go here, God saying that, or even if you go into Romans 2, I mean 9 and...
There's even proof in the Bible. There's parts where he talks about where you pray to the false gods, and then in times of trouble, where's your false god responding to you?
Exactly, right? So you get 28 and 1, right? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1.
Book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right? So the Most High telling me that if it is we obey the commandments of God, right? That He going and set we above all these other nations of people, above the Indians, the white man, African, whatever nation of people, right?
Right.
How we people living today,
In Trinidad.
all around the world. Like where you go say we living more better than everybody else, or we under the other nations?
I don't think anybody's under anybody. But I think everybody is just in as much chaos as all the other countries.
Right? I will show you some, right? So this is Deuteronomy 28, and we start at now in verse 1. What He will show you all the blessings that the Most High God bless you with if we keep what?
Keep the commandments.
Right, if you keep the commandments, right? But this is where you see an all too. In verse 15 go down. You have the Bible on your phone?
No, sorry, I was just checking the time.
Alright?
Yeah.
So it starts out, but it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken, if you will not listen, right? Hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses are a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, right? Shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right? So the Most High tell we from 1 to 14. If we keep the commandments, what is He going to give you, right?
Right.
Which is blessed, right? And from 15 on down to 68, He show we that if we don't keep the commandments, we're going to be cursed, right?
Right.
Right. Curse shall, this is verse 16, right? Curse shall thou be in the city, and curse shall thou be in the fields. How we living in the cities? We own all the businesses, anything like that, or we working for the people that own the businesses.
Working for the people.
So that means we are at a lower stage, right? So that confirmed way now say everybody, not under everybody, right? So it's showing you that a particular race of people under the other races on them, right? Now remember in verse 1 it says, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1 it says, if it is we keep the commandments, we will be above. But because we break the commandments, right? Under the other people, right? Curse shall be the fruit of thy body. Meaning your children is your fruit of your body, right? Right? And curse and the fruit of thy land. We don't own nothing, we have to pay tax. We have to one rent. Right?
Yeah.
Now they tax charging you for water. Most I give you water to drink now, you have to pay for it, right? Right, so you get the 64th, right? Right, so you go down to verse 17. Here shall be thy basket and thy store, right? We hardly have anything to eat, right? The basket hardly any food we have in the house. We hardly have anything, we live in paycheck to paycheck, right? That's a curse that the Mosai say he will put on a particular people, right? Right, there verse 64.
Look at Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so the Mosai say, this particular nation of people that will not be under everybody else for the who want to keep the commandments of the Mosai, will not do what?
The Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so the Mosai say, for not keeping the commandments, he will not make me go back into slavery. But this time we will be under all nations. Right, and we will be serving different religions. That's why I say, read the last part.
Even wood and stone.
Right, so the wood they're talking about is the when you go in churches you see the wooden cross on them, right? In churches, and the stone they're talking about is that Kaaba stone in Mecca. The Muslims then not bow down to and pray to, right? We're not supposed to have
That's
two biggest religion, right?
Yeah.
On the face of the earth, right? We're not supposed, we as a people shouldn't have false God praying to, right? We suppose we have the only God, the only creator to worship. So the Mosai say one of the curses that he will put on we is that we will go after the other nations' gods, right? And serve their God, which is all false God, right? And next one of the curses is how we people come here, you say?
Slave trade.
But what form of transportation to take you from we homeland and bring we on boats, right?
Yeah.
You believe that in the Bible? You don't believe it in the Bible, right? You never see it in the Bible, right? Alright, we'll show you it.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Pay attention.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
Now,
again.
Egypt means bondage, right? Meaning, when you was in Egypt, what was you?
Looking at the Pharaoh.
Under Pharaoh, right? Which is slavery, right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, so the Mosai said that you're going to go into slavery on ships. Right? How you say the forefathers come here?
By ships.
Right, by slave ships. So this talking to who?
Countess.
Right, what type of people we is? If this talk going into the Israelites, going into slavery, right, on ships, if we descend from the people that come here in slavery, what would that make me under?
From what you're saying, essentially slaves.
Slave is not a race of people. Slave is a condition.
Right.
If I go on work today and them have me doing things that I'm not supposed to be doing, and extra work and overdoing it, right? They come like the slaving me out, right? Right, that's a condition. The Israelites went into slavery, right?
Right.
And was sent on slave ships all over the four corners of the earth, right? If we descend from the people that was on the slave ships and come spread all throughout the earth in slavery, what type of people would that make me and
According to the Bible.
Israelites.
right? What?
Israelites.
Right. So we are the Israelites that was put into slavery for breaking the commandments of the Most High. Get 1 John 5 and 3, right? Because plenty of people say that they love God, but how God say to show that you love Him?
There's many ways to show that God you love. You pray to Him, you talk to Him, and if you keep His commandments in your heart, you walk with Him. You continue to just walk that path He has for you.
So you're on point, right? But we will not show you in the scriptures itself, right?
You're right.
Because a lot of people, if I tell you to go to a particular scripture to show it, you may not be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
So we will not show you where the Bible say that how you should love the Most High and what you should do to show that you love Him, right?
Right.
So bring this out.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
Right, so you see that how, for this is the love of God. Right, so he's telling you, this is how we love God. That we do what?
That we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
Right, so you are the keep the commandments of God, right?
Right.
That's how you love God. Because plenty of people say not love God, right? But yet still you see that doing all kind of things that break the commandments of the Most High. Come like this, right? If you have a child, you're going to do things to make sure your child grow up in the proper way or whatever it is, right? You won't do nothing to harm the child or cause the child any trauma or whatever it is, right? So that is a form of love. You make sure you provide food, clothing, education, and home for that child, right? Right, so when it is we say that how we love somebody, love is not something that you can tell somebody, it's an action word, right?
Right.
It's something you must perform to show that you love. But you can't say you love your wife and you go home and you cuff she face, right? That is not love, that is hate, right? So in order to show love to the Most High, he say that how we are to keep the commandments. And when I say His commandments are not grievous, meaning they're not hard to do. Plenty of you say, yeah, well, you know, remember, but that was back then. And there's no time change. But remember, the Most High say he changed not. Right? So if the Most High say that how to love Him, we have to keep the commandments. He say back then, he mean it then, and he mean it now. Right? So this is Yerzita and Paul. They love God, right?
Yeah.
Read this over.
Book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous.
Right, so this is the love of God that we keep. We have to keep the commandments of the Most High, right? How much commandments you have in the Bible?
10.
That 10 commandments, right? Alright, I'm going to show you a commandment where you do see 10, right? This is Leviticus 11 and verse 7.
So, sorry to cut you short, but I do have to be somewhere in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is the last one, right?
Yeah.
This is Leviticus 11 and verse 7. I want you to see it, right? So you wouldn't think that we're making up something, right? And the swine, though he divided the hoof, and be cloven-footed, right? So a cloven-footed animal is a clean animal, right? But let me see if this one clean, right? And the swine, though he divided the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you, right? So pig is an unclean animal, right? Of their flesh ye shall not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you. These shall ye eat, right? So you can't touch or eat a pig, right? So if it is you say love the Most High, you have to stop eating pig, right? You can't love the Most High. How he said? If you love me, you'll do what? Right, so he commanded not to eat pig. There are more than 10 commandments in the Bible. That's 613 commandments in the Bible, right? Right, so this is our next one of the commandment. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. You see shrimps, crab,
Yep.
crab and dumpling and thing, eh?
Yeah.
Right? These shall ye eat, of that, of all that are in the waters. Always see it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever had fins and scales. A crab has scales on it. It have a shell,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It do have no fins, right? It have scale,
No.
right? So that means you can't eat one of that, right? Right? And the fish must have what?
Fins.
Right? So you can eat shark, you can eat catfish, lobster, crab, shrimps, them what's called them seed, them things that sell by the side of the road, oysters and all these things, right?
Octopus.
So to keep the commandments of the Most High, meaning the laws of the Most High, you have to do what the laws say to do.
Right.
Right? If the Most High tell you that oh, do not eat X, Y, and Z, you can't eat it. That means you're disobeying the word of God. Right? That is an abomination unto you, right? So what you could do here, you have internet on your phone.
I do not.
Whenever you have time, you could always scan this here and it will show you the website. Right? You have a piece of paper on the leaf.
One more thing, I don't know if you realize that all of us have on this close, right? Fringes, right?
Exodus 15 and 13.
Numbers, right? So
I mean
this
Numbers
is-
15 and 13.
So this as well as keeping the laws, right? So this is Numbers 38. No, Numbers 15 and 38. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and bid
Right,
them.
so we determined just now when we go into Deuteronomy, right, that the Israelites will have to be with people, right? But we went through all the curses, we under all nations, and we show you that we have to be people of the world, right? You agree with that, right? Right, so this is one of the commandments that he command the Israelites, which is we people, to do, right? You won't find this in the 10 commandments as well. So this showing you that there's more than 10 commandments alone, right? Start it over from it up.
Says,
You go read loud.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes at the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations, we must have on this throughout the generations, right? And your parents had you. Your parents' generation is a different generation, right?
Yeah.
You is a different generation, right? If you have a child today or tomorrow, that is our next generation, right?
Yeah.
So the scripture telling you throughout the generations, then each generation must keep this commandment, right?
Right.
This is not a style what we have on here, right? Continue.
Make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they may put upon the fringe borders of ribbon of blue.
A ribbon of blue, right? So this, when you do keep this, have this one, what you telling you to do?
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord,
Right, so-
and do them.
Right, so when it is you have on this, brother, you can remember I can eat shrimps, crab, lobster. Right? You can remember to keep the commandments of the Most High, no eating pork. Right? There are other commandments that we could go into, but as you say, you gotta go, your time is short.
Yeah.
But what we want you to know, brother, is that we are the Israelites of the Bible. Right? The Israelites didn't do away with it. Right? Like the churches telling you, so, that was back then, and you know, and you could come as you are. These things you don't see in the Bible. What a black, they say to hide anything from a black man. All you have to do is put it in a book. We don't read nothing. We'll have the Bible home and leave it on the shelf. Right? But Sunday we go in and take it up and we in the church and we walk around it, right? Because we know it's a symbol of I going to church.
Right.
Right?
Right.
To the world, right? Not knowing that this is a book of laws and commandments that we are to live by. In order to show the Most High that we love and respect him. Right?
Right.
So what I want you to understand, brother, that is an Israelite that does not eat shrimp, crab, lobster, pork, wherever it might be, from now on. That eat clean food like chicken, turkey, lamb, goat, could eat sheep, cow. You understand? These things you could eat, but you come shab and lobster and thing, cut out them things.
Alright.
Right? So with that we say shalom to you, brother. I mean peace in Hebrew, right? And shalom.
One thing, I actually don't mind being recorded, so if anything, if you are posting it, I would like not to be posted.
Just like
Sorry,
that.
but it's just a personal preference.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, brother.